A few birds. I outdid myself once again. Guys, I got this goose. It's a Canadian goose that I recently got from a trip in Montana, as you guys saw. So I'm gonna pluck this goose. I'm gonna brine it for 24 hours, and we are gonna make it for Christmas Day dinner. I'm gonna show you guys what to do. All the ingredients are gonna be in the description below. And this is how to brine and roast a Canadian goose. So here we go.
So for the brine, you want to get about a gallon and a half of water boiling, cup of light brown sugar, cup of kosher salt, half a cup of Himalayan salt, a tablespoon of onion powder. This Alpine touch is from Montana, a tablespoon of that poultry spice, and a handful of black peppercorns, and then some Herbes de Provence. Do about a tablespoon of all of those, and pour that into your pot of water and bring that baby to a boil. Then you're going to pull it off and let it cool. When you start plucking your bird, it was cold outside, so I started plucking this guy inside. And you just want to start grabbing feathers and ripping towards the head. So from the bottom up, you're going to start just grabbing feathers and ripping them out. It is a chore. It's not an easy task, but it's well worth it. It eventually got a little too messy once you got down to the down feathers. They started floating and getting everywhere. So I moved outside, and I took off the wings right at the joint. Just cut the wings off, and then the legs too. Just find that joint and cut around it, and the legs will come right off.
Alright, so I got this bird plucked for the most part. Good job. And I'm going to remove the innards here, so I'm going to cut kind of just like a deer or anything. Cut here at the very bottom, make a little bit of slit and just take out all those little giblets in there. So I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup here.
These little down feathers are the ones that are tough. You gotta almost get them individually once you get down to this stage. And now yes, that is feathers that you see behind my ear.
Wash them out a little bit.
Didn't notice that until I took a shower. There were feathers everywhere. Nice little hot tip for you. Get you a little torch and singe off those hair-like pin feathers. And you just kind of singe them, get them all crisped up, and get a nice clean bird. And then I take a paper towel and just kind of brush off the singed feathers. Then take a sharp knife and score the skin of your bird about every inch. Just make a nice little slit. You just want to get the skin, try not to get too deep down in the meat, even though I did a couple times, but just try to get the skin. Find a nice container that'll hold your bird and the brine. And I'm using a large crock pot here. Then you'll pour the brine right over the top of the bird. As you can see here, it wants to float to the top. So you want to get a bowl or a plate, or a bowl and a plate, and cover the bird with it, make it fully submerged in the brine.
36 degrees out here. I think get below freezing, but it won't freeze. Alright, so we will let that brine for 24 hours, or probably a little bit less because Christmas is tomorrow. And we're having it for Christmas dinner, so I'm going to probably take it out around noon, 1 o'clock. I think I want to cook it or smoke it for about 2 or 3 hours, so we will see you tomorrow.
If you're liking it so far, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's a completely free way to support the channel, and hope you enjoy this recipe.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Got my goose still in here. I'm going to add a little bit of OJ. Couple cups of OJ. And we got about 5 or 6 more hours before it goes on the smoker.
So I'm going to preheat my Traeger to 350 degrees. And while it's preheating, I'm going to get my bird ready. I have 1 onion, 3 oranges, and 2 apples, and a stick of butter. I'm going to use this as my stuffing for inside the bird. So get those all sliced up real small so that they'll fit inside the cavity of the goose. I pat dried the bird, and then I remembered that I needed to rinse off the brine. I forgot to show it here, but make sure you put your bird under some cold water, rinse off that brine before you season the outside. And then I stuff the bird with all the oranges, with the onions, the orange, and the apples, and the cube of butter. And yes, I'll tie the legs here, and that is a hair tie that I found. Sorry, Jen. But that worked perfectly to tie the legs together.
Put this bad baby in the Traeger. Probably smoke it between 2.5 to 3 hours. And we'll turn up the heat, make sure that that skin gets nice and crispy. Goose.
Here I am making the glaze to go on the outside. I did a 1/2 cup of orange juice, a cup of real maple syrup, and a 1/2 cup of honey. And then I added 1/2 stick of butter, and I'm going to bring that to a boil.
That little glaze. The little bird is looking good. For the last hour or so, I'm just gonna glaze it with that mixture that I made. Put it right there. It's at 122 right now. I want to get it to about 165. I'll just glaze it every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. I did
In the last 45 minutes to an hour, I cranked the temperature up to about 450 because I really wanted that skin to kind of crisp up and really brown. I let the bird rest for about 15 minutes before I started carving it. And to carve it, you would, just like if you were to breast it out in the field, just start to find that hard breastbone, cut alongside it, take off both of the legs, just kind of find the joint there, and it'll split the legs right off of both sides, and then I will slice that across the grain. It's a great way to cut up these birds. And then I pour the remainder of my glaze right over the top of the breasts. And bon appetit.
Alright, the goose is done. Try the first little bite here. That is delicious. Holy moly. I outdid myself once again. It's got a sweet flavor from the glaze. I put the glaze over the top of it. Smoky on the outside. On the inside, I could just taste the brine. Sweet and saltiness. Oh, it's so good. This is amazing. Awesome.
That's so good. Good job, baby. It's so good.
And keep an eye out for BBs, especially if you harvest this with some double lot BB. You want to make sure you don't bust a filling. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and please give this a like, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next adventure. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on our new content. I've got plenty more coming your way. More hunts, more fishing trips, and true Alaskan wilderness stories. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Until then, keep exploring, keep hunting, and stay wild.